doesn't tell us all the time. What's going
Hey,
on,
Andrea.
Andrea, my friend? How are you? Hope you all are doing well. We're doing well. Camille, I like you in green.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I like green.
yeah, yeah. Hope you all are well. Hey, we got a few texts. Like, where y'all at? So, apologies for being a little bit late today.
It was me.
I wasn't gonna.
It was my bad.
I wasn't gonna place blame
He
on
was
anyone.
he was ready.
I,
It's not usually me, but I'll take it.
well, see, now we turned a corner. I don't know if we really like did an Excel chart. I don't know. It'd be about even. I think
No,
it would be a close race.
I don't think so.
We'll give a few minutes, especially since we're a little later than usual. Hey, I see you all coming in. If you would, it would just warm our hearts if we knew who was with us on the line today. I know sometimes it feels like, well, I don't want to do that because then I'll feel trapped. We're not trapping you. If you leave, you leave. But we just love to know who's here with us today. Again, you are free. There are no shackles holding you, no handcuffs tying you here. I know me when I jump on people's stuff sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to comment because then if I stop commenting they're gonna be like, oh, see, he left. Then they're gonna come up with a whole narrative for what happened. That's not what we're trying to do. So if you're comfortable enough, let us know who's here, where you're watching from. We're just taking just a couple minutes, especially since we're at a little bit different time than we normally come on to let people join us. What you gonna say
Hello,
your
Laurel Jones.
government name, Mom? What's going on, Mom? Good to see you. Good to see you. Love you. Hope you all are doing well. Again, we know we came a little bit later than usual, but we're glad we're here. We're ready, and we're looking forward to sharing some things with you today that our hope is that will be tools for you in your life in this coming week and beyond is what we hope, that it will be something that will stick with you, that will help you to be able to actualize your potential, to be able to move forward, to be able to make progress, a step forward. That's what that word really breaks down to. Progress is a step forward. And so today we hope that we can give you some gasoline, some petrol, some fuel to be able to kind of animate and help you animate your step forward to the next place, the next move, the next position, the next posture that you need to be in for whatever it is that you're facing, whatever comes at you, whatever you go at. Because look, we're not a victim mentality over here. It's not just that life just comes at us. Sometimes we go on the offense and we go after life. And so I want to challenge you this week not to wait for stuff to hit you and then respond, but instead to be proactive, forward, being ahead of it. It's like being proactive rather than being reactive. I'm coming after you, life. I wish somebody would type it with some assurance, with some faith, with some courage, with some tenacity, and say, I'm coming after life this week. I'm coming after life this week. I'm not going to let it come after me. I'm coming after it. And so sometimes we have to turn around and chase the thing that has been chasing us. I'm tired of running from you. Oh, I feel this thing real quick. This wasn't where I was headed, but I'm tired of running from stuff that seems like it's threatening me. I'm tired of always being reactive. I'm tired of being on the run. Right now, I don't want to play defense anymore. I'm about to turn around and I'm about to go get it. I'm about to go after it. I'm about to chase the thing that was chasing me. I'm about to become the aggressor in this situation called destiny, called purpose, called life. I'm going after my purpose. I'm going after my destiny. I'm going after my calling. I'm going after the things that are in line and in store for me. I'm going to go get it. I can't. I know I can't talk like that when my mom is on the line because she wants my grammar to be proper. But sometimes you don't feel proper. Sometimes you just feel like, look, I'm gonna go get it. I'm going after the thing. This is the week to go get it. Oh my goodness, I feel this thing today. This is the week to go after it. This is the week to go get it. And I hope that you're encouraged even today. I'm going to make progress. I'm going to take a step forward. I might not go all the way to the end of my journey, but this week I'm taking a step forward. What's your step? What's your step that you need to take to position you for destiny, to begin to posture you for blessings and favor? What is the step that you have to take to stop being the victim and to begin being the victor? We are more than conquerors, overcomers. My goodness, I feel the thing. We are winners. Thanks be to God who always causes us to triumph. Even when it looks like I lost, I just won. It is stepping me in the right direction. It is positioning me for purpose. It is putting me in the right place, in the right posture for the promise. I am excited for y'all that this is the week to go get it. I'm going 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 to go get it. I don't know what it is all the way, but I'm taking offensive steps. I'm going to go get it. I am not the victim. I'm the victor. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. My goodness, a warrior doesn't wait to be attacked. A warrior goes after the thing that has been coming after him or her. Today is your day. This is your week to go after it, to go get it. I hope that's our intro right now. I didn't plan on it, but I hope you're feeling that already. I know I'm feeling it. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. Go get it. What are you gonna go get? Whatever he tells me to go get.
It.
Yep, it. Whatever he identifies as the object of my purpose. That's it. It. Oh my goodness.
What's the focus?
Yeah, it is a pronoun that identifies the object of the focus. It. I'm gonna go get it. It's the subject of your sentence, but it's personified by just a little word. It. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get the opportunity. I'm gonna get the job. I'm gonna go get the resume. I'm gonna go get the education. I'm gonna go get. Oh my goodness. Whatever it is, it's your it. What? Oh my God! You got to know what your it is. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get my it today. All right. So last week we were talking about the parable of the talents. We talked about how, and I won't recap the whole thing, but you all know the story. Jesus used a parable to teach about this master who went away on a journey. He left some of his possessions, 5 in one's hand, 2 in another's hand, 1 in another hand, and said, all right, I need you to take care of my stuff. I need you to go get it. I need you to take care of my stuff while I go about my business. Then I'm going to come back. Came back. The one who had 5 had done a good job, turned 5 into 10. The one who had 2 did a good job, turned 2 into 4. The one who had 1 didn't do a good job and let the 1 be 1, buried it, kept it, gave it back to him just like he received it. The master said, depart from me. You could have at least exchanged my money. You could have at least invested what I gave you, and at least could have earned interest. At least could have got some kind of dividend. But instead you buried it, and so it stayed the same. And the problem with things staying the same, oh, this wasn't where I was going either, but the problem with even us not making progress, the problem with things staying the same is that the world moves forward. Everything else keeps moving. So if you stay the same, you are actually getting left behind and you're backwards. Have you ever met anybody who was really good at a certain craft? You know, music is one of the things I love. And they play music and then they stop. And what happens when they go back to it is that music has evolved. Music never stops evolving. So it's moved forward. So they still sound like they played back in the 70s and the 80s because they did not stay moving. They didn't go backwards. They do the same thing they did when they did the thing. It's like riding a bike. Yep. But the thing about it is bikes change. Oh my goodness. And so I learned how to ride a 1-speed bike, but then if I never learned how to ride a 10-speed, then I don't know how to adjust the gears. I know how to balance, but I don't know how to get the full benefits that are available to me. I don't know how to do the mountain bike. I don't know how to do some of these new things that are going because I haven't evolved with the evolution of what life does. I haven't grown with it. I stayed the same, and you would think that means that I didn't go backwards, but instead, if everything around you moves forward and you stay the same, you actually got left behind. So it's the same impact as going backwards. All right? And so the master didn't like that it stayed the same while everybody else advanced. Right? Because the one who had 5 turned to 10. The one who had 2 turned to 4. The one who had 1 just stayed the same and got left behind, right? And so he said, "Depart from me, you lazy, evil servant." He said, "You could have at least done something with what I gave you. You didn't move forward, therefore you went backwards." Oh my goodness. I don't want to let my stagnation make me go backwards when I have the potential to progress, step ahead, step forward, get ahead of it, go after it. All right. So it is a story that is a concept of stewardship. Stewardship is defined as the job of supervising or taking care of something, such as an organization or a property. Stewardship. We say it sometimes like, I need to be a good steward of my resources. I need to be I need to be a better steward of my time, right? In other words, I need to make decisions that cause me to maximize what I have, that cause me to take good care of the opportunities that are presented to me, the blessings that have been bestowed to me. I need to do a good job of supervising or taking care of something that I have access to, that I have ownership of, that I have responsibility for, right? And so stewardship. So first, I got to hear from y'all too. I see more of you all have joined. Hey, when you hear the word stewardship, what do you think of? And Camille, same question for you, and I'm going to move out of the way. When you hear the word stewardship, what do you think of? Where does your mind go?
For me, responsibility comes to mind. It's an automatic thing that has expectation with it, that you're going to handle it, that you're going to take care of it, that you're going to do what needs to be done with it. It is a trust thing. If it's given to you, then you're trusted to do the right things with that responsibility.
Hey, Teresa.
Yep. Hey, Teresa.
I see y'all.
Yeah, Andrea, that which I have been entrusted with. Yep.
Yeah. Stewardship, taking care of your business. Yep. That which I have been entrusted with. Responsibility. Which, and whenever I hear the word responsibility, it breaks down in my mind. It's responding to ability. Like, in order to be a good steward, you have to respond to the abilities that have been invested in you.
And to me, responsibility automatically comes in. What comes in that package is some work. Yeah.
Because a response is action.
Right.
It's some kind of action that you have to take based on the ability that you have. Because nobody can do the things that you do the way that you can do them, because nobody has your swag, your style, your flavor, and your flow. So you need to respond. If you don't respond with your ability, you are not a good steward, therefore not a good candidate for investment. If you don't respond, if you just bury the talent, if you don't do something with it, then why should I invest in somebody who's going to do nothing? If somebody going to do nothing, I could have just left it where it was. It can do nothing all by itself. I know they say I can do bad all by myself. I can do nothing all by myself too. Like, why invest in someone else to do what I don't have the time or the ability to do? If I'm going to try to give it to somebody else, I'm trusting that they have the ability to respond to that investment. Yeah. So taking care of business, taking care of that which I've been entrusted with. Yeah. Camille said, an expectation comes with responsibility. I write notes on what Camille says. An expectation comes with responsibility. Like, I expect you're going to respond. I expect you're going to do something. That's how God looks at us. I just blessed you. I just trusted you. Andrea and Camille talked about how responsibility is wrapped around trust. Like, I'm not going to invest in you if I don't trust that you're going to respond with the ability that you have to make it better, to do something with it, to go get it, to take care of your business, to take care. You gotta do something, right? There's an expectation with it. There's an expectation that you'll do what needs to be done. You'll respond, right? Yep. So stewardship is proving that we are a trustworthy investment. That we're gonna do something with what we have access to, the relationships we have access to, the time we have access to, the responsibilities we have access to. So, handling our business. So last week we talked about being good stewards of our finances. Did you respond with the ability that you do have? Or was it just, yeah, that was good talk, right? I bought my first stock this week through a broker. I mean, without a broker, sorry. Bought my first stock without a broker this week. That's a response. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
New
I
things.
bought two of them. Two of
You're
them.
an
Two of
owner.
them. I'm an owner, right? Because I responded to the prompt of God's word. I responded to the ability that I have. I don't know everything, but I got some knowledge. I can figure something out. I got some other people who know more things than I know about it. I'm gonna tap into them as well. Use your resources. I have that ability, right? So what'd you do with it? What was your response? Like, we can talk every week to y'all, and to everybody that listens on the rebroadcast, but really what it comes down to is, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And so that's an introspective question for you to ask yourself. Am I gonna do anything different, or am I just gonna let words tickle my ears? Right? So we've been talking a lot about finance. Before that, we've been talking a lot about this garden. I've been telling y'all we're farmers, and it's been a complete and utter lie. We don't know what we're doing, but we keep on responding.
We're learning things.
Yep. We ate a little bit.
Yeah.
We've eaten a little bit from our garden. We have. You notice we talked about it less the last couple of weeks because
trying to work some things out.
We're trying to figure some things out. Camille used her ability and found out about the impact of Epsom salt on crops. That's been doing good. Starting to
see some more growth.
You know, where I would have probably
Progress.
just given up. It ain't working. I'm done. That's not responsibility. That's not stewardship, right? But it is often our tendency. Like,
but
I
that's
don't know.
the thing. Next year, there's going to be automatic things that we know to do.
Yeah.
More quickly.
Yeah. So even when it looks like you're failing, I said it earlier, even when it looks like you're losing, I still win. Even when it looks like I lost, I won. Because I learned something. We gained something. We know what works, what doesn't. We know what doesn't work. Let's say that.
We know we're not to waste time next year.
Yep.
So it doesn't mean because everything didn't work. And I think our approach was, let's plant this, and this, and see what comes up.
Yep.
Something's going to come up.
Something coming, and something has.
And something did.
I'm about to share those fresh.
We will.
We would love to share, but we don't want it to be an insulting share. Like, here's our one little piece of a little tiny onion. How about that? Right.
But the thing about it is, like, we're learning so much. Yep, we got something out of it, a little bit so far. And it's not over because there's, like, stuff you can plant in the fall, too. So that's our approach, is we're gaining knowledge so that next year we can come with much more knowledge and resources and have a better outcome. So it's not a give up. We're not good at this. We already knew we didn't have green thumbs. We knew that.
Just look at her. She has a green shirt, but that's not a green thumb.
But it's not a recipe for give up for us.
Man, that'll preach right there. when things don't go the way that you want them to go, or that you hope they will go, or that you strangely envision that they'll go, even though you have no indication that you know what you're doing. Don't be like, oh man, I'm done with that now. Didn't work. That's a human tendency. It didn't work, forget it. I'm wasting my time. Are you wasting your time, or are you learning lessons on how to do it better? Oh boy. Hey. Okay. 2 onions next year. Hey, we got more than that. We got more than that.
We got some onions.
We triumph through the process. I love it, Teresa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we triumph. You never waste a hurt. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we got some onions. We had a few strawberries here and there.
We had some onions in the greens.
Yeah, I put some onions in my greens. Yep. They were fresh.
So some stuff is working.
Yep. You gotta have your strawberries.
And a lot of stuff is taking some more effort and research.
Yeah. Some stuff is starting to grow now when we thought it wasn't going to. Man, some carrots are starting to look like they coming. What else?
Cucumbers.
Our cucumbers, those little cucumbers kept doing so good in the beginning, and then they would say, we done, we not growing no more. But now, they starting to go a little high.
There's one's flowering.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the next phase.
Yeah. The next phase. The next phase. So, we learned some things. You know? All right. Jobs. We got to be good stewards on our jobs. Even when we tired of them. Even when people getting on our nerves. Oh, y'all don't want to talk about the viewers. The number going to start plummeting right there. Even when people make us mad, we still have a responsibility to respond to the ability that we do have. We oftentimes focus on what abilities we don't have.
Yeah.
And we default to, well, I can't do that. I can't do this because, or I would do that, but they won't let me do that because, well, what ability do you have that you can respond to? Right? What ability do you have that you could act on? Oh, man. So we got to be good stewards there. Good stewards of our families, of our relationships. God help me today. I'm going to lose my own audience myself.
And the thing about relationships and our families is that we can so easily fall into taking those relationships for granted, to where we don't put in efforts, to where we don't respond as responsible stewards of our family. Like, don't let your family fall to the wayside because you're just assuming that that's always going to be there whenever you come back to it and want to give it attention. Yeah.
Sometimes we treat the people closest to us the worst. Like, we don't, because, I don't know why we do that. I don't know why. But like Camille said, we take them for granted instead of responding to our ability and being good stewards of the people who are closest to us. How come it can be such a tendency where we treat strangers better than we treat familiar family? Like, it's backwards. It doesn't make sense. We all know it. Every one of us knows that's a bad philosophy. But we stop trying to impress family. Like, right? We're familiar with family. And so we'll go in the public and we'll be really nice. And we want to convey this great image. Maybe we gave up. It's like those plants. Like, they ain't growing. Like, I already lost my image there. They already don't think that much of me. Or they going to keep on they're going to keep on being there anyway.
And you give a lot of thought and care to the outside world.
Yep.
When what's within your home, within, your family, deserves just as much thought and care.
More. Those other people aren't going to be there for you in the end. Oh, boy. So, yeah. So there's a couple scriptures I wanted to share with you. The first one is 1 Peter chapter 4. And I want to read verses 10 through 13, especially focusing on the 10th verse, the first one. It says, First Peter 4:10-13. I'm reading the New Living. It says, God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. Just wanted to stop right there. He gave you gifts, a whole bunch of them from his variety of gifts. Use the gifts he gave you well to serve one another. Like, that could be the whole thesis, but then it begins to go into some examples. In verse 11, it says, do you have the gift of speaking? Then speak as though God himself were speaking through you. Do you have the gift of helping others? Do it with all the strength and energy that God supplies. Then everything you do will bring glory to God through Jesus Christ. All glory and power to him forever and ever. Amen. Dear friends, verse 12, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you're going through, as if something strange were happening to you. Oh man, that's good. Last verse, verse 13. Instead, be very glad for the fiery trials. Yeah. Why? For these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering, so that you will have the wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it is revealed to all the world. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. But just that 10th verse, God has given each of you swag, style, flavor, and flow. God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. There's something unique and special about you. You can do something that nobody else can do the way that you can do it. So use that uniqueness, that peculiarness, that originality, that DNA. Use it well. Why? To serve one another. That's what that investment is for, to bring a return on the investment. Then I love that verse 11. Do you have the gift of speaking? Then speak as though God himself were speaking through you. Have some confidence with your gift. Oh my goodness. You have the gift of helping others. Do it with all the strength and energy that God. So put your all into your gift. Then everything you do will bring glory to God through Jesus Christ. It's not going to do it unless you give your all. You got to be a good steward of it. Right? All glory and power to him forever and ever. Amen. Don't be surprised that verse 12 turns a corner on us. Dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you're going through, as if something strange were happening to you. That's a whole nother talk. We get some, it's like we're shocked when we have to go through some stuff, but that's a whole nother talk. We can talk about that another day. But be glad about what you're going through and use what you got to get through what you're going through. That's stewardship. Don't allow your conditions to stifle your responsibility. That's why that's all tied together. Don't let your stewardship fail because the heat got turned up on you in a situation. Keep on keeping on. Even though people are acting crazy. Even though things aren't going the way you expected. Even though your broccoli does not seem to be growing. Learn from it. Keep going. Put your all into it. Have a confidence. Have a confident hope. Use your gifts like you know your gift is supposed to work. Use your gift in a unique way, even though nobody else might be doing it the same way that you're doing it. And find a confidence. Say, look, I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do me. I know what he invested in me. I'm going to do me. Thoughts?
Well, along with that, when you keep your focus on, the doing me part and doing what God has set before you to do, it really teaches you how to work through the noise. There's always going to be noise, but these sufferings, these trials are teaching you how to hone in to what's most important, to the focus, and so that you can keep making progress instead of parking off to the rest area to dilly-dally with what this noise is that popped up while you were on your path. Know when it's noise. Know if you even need to give it any kind of attention, If you have to a little bit, know that it's just a little bit. If you know that it's just a distraction, keep it moving.
Right.
So I mean, see what the development is in that process, because most of the time it's just noise,
Man.
and it's stopping you from getting to what the real focus is for what God wants you to get to.
Yeah. Wow. Work through the noise. Somebody ought to type that.
Yeah, there's gonna be noise.
Mm-hmm.
There will be sufferings. There will be trials. In the Amplified version, that whole section, verse 12 through 13, is titled as "Share the Sufferings of Christ." How did he do it?
Our example.
How did he do it? And yep, there are so many examples in the Bible where Jesus was on his way to handle stuff, and then there were distractions. He dealt with it the way he needed to deal with it real quick, and then he continued on. The other thing that popped out to me in verse 10 in the Amplified version, it reads, "Just as each one of you has received a special gift, a spiritual talent, an ability graciously given by God, employ it in serving one another as is appropriate for good stewards of God's multifaceted grace, faithfully using the diverse, varied gifts and abilities granted to Christians by God's unmerited favor." That sounds beautiful.
Man.
Amazing. But what a lot of us lack is the whole idea that what we have is a special gift. So first, realize that what he has given you, and I think we were saying this last week, what he has given you is special.
Yeah.
Don't minimize it.
Yeah.
Look at what you have. Look at the things that you can do. Look at, even things that come easily to you or that of interest to you, and realize it is God-given. It is entrusted to you. So what do you do with that special gift? So that then you can do these work with this amazingness that God gave you.
I love that version. It said, employ your gifts, basically. What's that part where it says?
Employ it in serving one another.
Employ it in serving one another. Employ it. Think about that. It's your job. Make it your job. Employ it. Give it benefits. Give it responsibilities. Write a job description for it. Oh my goodness, that's your purpose statement. Write a mission statement for your gifts. Oh, y'all not. I wish you were hearing me. I wish you would know that that's not just me right there. Like, employ it. Employ your gifts. How can what he put in me build up his kingdom? How can it help somebody else? That's what we're here. That's the mark we're here to make. Employ it. Put it to work. That's responsibility. That's stewardship. Put your gifts to work for the purpose of building the kingdom, strengthening somebody, helping somebody. Oh, man.
I love how it's described as God's multifaceted grace. Like, we're a part of that.
Yep. The other verse, I just wanted to read one more verse for you. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 2. 1 Corinthians 4 and 2. It's like an introductory statement that Paul is writing, and you can read it in context on your own, and it's one that you would pass right by, because it's not like the meat of the letter that he's writing to the church at Corinth, but it's just a passing statement. And when I pulled it out, I'm like, wow. It says, "Now a person who is put in charge as a manager must be faithful." Now a person who is put in charge as a manager must be faithful. If you have anything to manage, in the Amplified version of the last verse I already told you, employ your gifts. You are the supervisor and the manager of your gifts. It is your job, your purpose, your calling, your duty, your vocation to employ your gifts. Now he's made you the manager. And this text tells us in 1 Corinthians 4 and 2, a person who is put in charge as a manager must be faithful. Must be full of faith. Must be able to see what can't be seen. Must be dedicated and consistent. at honing their skills and using their gifts and talents for the benefit of others.
Sound like a job description
It's
to
a,
me.
it's a JD. It's a job description all day long. And I for real implore you and challenge you, write out your job description. Identify your gifts. Oh man, you're going to move me into a different part of my life. I don't care if you got to use Gallup strengths, if you got to go into a fast and prayer,
Start somewhere.
consecration, whatever you got to do. Identify your gifts. Ask somebody else what they see in you, whatever you got to do. Identify your gifts and then begin to write out your job description. This is what I need to make sure I'm doing on a consistent basis with this unique gift that I have.
And this, you want to continue to live and work in purpose in your life, that's where it's at.
Employ it. Which of you, if you had a business, wouldn't write a job description for your employee? If you wouldn't, you're a bad manager. So you need to be faithful, like this text says. If you're serious about your calling, everybody's like, I just don't know what my purpose is. What are your gifts? What can you do? What do you have a unique ability to do? Sometimes that's the journey, figuring out what do I have a unique gift to do. Figure out your gifts and employ them. Write your job description. Write your mission statement. Write your business plan. My goodness. A business plan for your gifts.
So you're not out there just doing whatever with it.
Yep.
It has a focal point. It leads back to Christ.
Yep. I know. My job is to actualize potential. Whether that's at work, with what I do at work, whether that's with people, whether that's with ministry, whether that's with consulting, my job, whether that's with my child, with my wife, my job is to actualize potential, to find the potential that's in people, pull it out, and make it real. Show them something about themselves that they might not have been able to see. Show an organization something the organization has never been able to see in itself. Look at what could be. I do my best to employ that. What are you employing? Do you employ your gifts? I have some gifts that allow me to do that. Strategic, maximizer, ideation, relator, and competition are my top 5. Moving into a whole nother vein in this talk for a second. That's my Gallup strengths from the assessment. It pulled those out for me. I have the gift of being strategic. I have the gift of seeing an alternative way that things can get done. I have the gift of maximizer. That is taking something good and making it great. I have the gift of ideation, letting my ideas have more ideas, creativity. I have the gift of relator, building deep, meaningful relationships. I have the gift of competition, pushing myself and others to get the most possible out of what they're doing. Those are all employed for the purpose. Those are my gifts. They're employed for the purpose of actualizing potential in businesses, whether I'm consulting or the one I work for, in relationships, right? Identify your gifts one way or another. Invest in your gifts. Employ your gifts. Man, this turned into a different kind of talk. That's stewardship. That's the stewardship of you. Being a good steward of yourself.
Yourself.
That's ministry.
My top 5 are consistency, responsibility, restorative, empathy, and developer.
Yeah.
Those help lead me.
And you hear what was coming out of her mouth during what she pulled out of that scripture? Consistency, responsibility. Consistency, responsibility. Right? Restorative, fixing it. Fix your mindset. She'll fix a process like none other. Right? This is she's identified these gifts. Consistency, responsibility, restorative, empathy. I feel what you feel. I might not agree with you. I don't have sympathy all the time, but I can feel what you feel. I can see where you're coming from. And then developer, seeing the potential in everybody. Woo! So, you see that? Not only have I studied my gifts, I try to study her gifts so I can help actualize her potential, right? Oh my goodness. Y'all see how this works? But you have to first be able to identify your gifts, whether it's through an assessment. You can do it through an assessment. Go to RajelJones.com. There's a plug. You can do it through an assessment. But you can also, you can do it through studying yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing your tendencies, your patterns, your proclivities, the behaviors you find yourself doing, the spots you keep finding yourself in. Like, you don't always need an assessment for it, but it is a nice. If you go to RajelJones.com, you can take one, though, and we can talk about how you can employ your gifts.
No, but for real.
No, I'm serious.
Seriously.
I'm serious. Yeah. So, be a steward. Yeah, Andrea, be a steward of yourself. Mm-hmm. We usually, when we think of stewardship, we only think of the tangible things. Like, I need to be a good steward of my bank account, and you do. Mm-hmm. But the only way that you'll do that, the only way you'll take care of the tangible things, is if you take care of the intangibles. Because that's a mindset. You got to have the mindset to be able to take care of a mindset for the intangibles to take care of the tangibles. Mm-hmm. So this is stewardship. Wasn't planning on going that direction. Hey.
Amplified version.
Yeah.
In this case, so this is 1 Corinthians 4:2. In this case, moreover, it is required as essential and demanded of stewards that one be found faithful and trustworthy.
Wow.
I mean, like, this is your mandate. If you're a believer, it's required.
That's a lot of...
It's essential.
Yeah.
And it's demanded.
That's a lot of instruction.
Are you doing this stuff? Are we doing this essential and demanded things?
Wow. It's required as essential and demanded.
And then the last word in here is trustworthy. There's that trust word.
Yeah. Need to be able to trust that you can respond to your ability, that you will identify and employ the gifts that have been invested into you to make a difference for somebody else. That's what it's for throughout every one of these scriptures. It keeps saying for others, for somebody else.
Yeah.
You have to do all this work so that you can be a blessing and a benefit to the kingdom, to people, to God's creation, to other people. Right? Oh, man.
But it's ringing in me back in 1 Peter. The first thing we need to be able to do is realize that we have special gifts.
Yeah.
Because you can't get to all that, in my opinion, if you don't even realize or look at what God has given you as something special to give to other people. Yeah.
There's a composition of your talent, skills, and abilities that he has woven together in the unique vehicle of you that prepares you to see the world differently. You have a uniqueness about you that allows you to have a different perspective. And the problem is that many times we talked about this last week, you brought it up again earlier today, we minimize what God has maximized. We're like, oh, everybody can do that. Oh, that's nothing. Our strengths become our lens. And so we begin to think, hey, I'm real strategic. Everybody should be able to see alternative paths. I'm responsible. Everybody should be trustworthy, and everybody should take psychological ownership for their commitments. Doesn't everybody do that? Our strengths become our lens, and we don't realize, no, it is unique to you. It's unique, and it's applied to every one of the experiences, the unique experiences that you've had in your life, and so it's crafted and taken a different form. It's like clay. It's pottery. It's taken a specific form that's unique, and it's come in the design of you. He said, I'm giving you a special gift from God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. You're uniquely you. So yeah, it's good. Identify your gifts. Employ your gifts. I feel like there's one more. Identify your gifts. I know for sure you got to do.
The thing about the suffering, don't be surprised, or not that far.
I don't know. Identify your gifts. Employ your gifts. Somebody wrote a comment. You saving the day. You saving the day for me. Invest.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thanks, Teresa. Identify your gifts. I don't know which order it should go. What y'all think? Identify your gifts.
You gotta identify them first.
I know you got to do that 1st,
Mm-hmm.
but between the invest and employ,
It could go either way.
either way, it's probably a combination.
It's continuous.
Those are simultaneous and continuous. Identify your gifts, invest your gifts, employ your gifts. Man.
And don't get caught up when there are trials.
Yeah, don't be shocked. I mean, you got fiery trials.
Keep your focus.
That's what it said. Like, why you keep getting surprised that the atmosphere around you has changed?
Mm-hmm.
Atmospheres always change. Woo! That just spoke to myself for some situations. Stop tripping because atmospheres change. Atmospheres always change.
We need to know how to function in all of the atmospheres.
Yeah.
How do we still do what the Lord requires of us to do in different atmospheres?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fiery. Why are you surprised?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that one? Where's that scripture?
1 Peter 4:12.
Don't be surprised at the fiery trials you're going through as if something strange were happening to you.
This says it's taking place to test you.
Yeah.
That is, did I read that far?
I don't think so.
That is, let me just read it.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal which is taking place to test you.
Mm.
That is, to test the quality of your faith, as though something strange or unusual were happening to you. But insofar as you are sharing Christ's sufferings, keep on rejoicing, so that when his glory, filled with his radiance and splendor, is revealed, you may rejoice with great joy.
Wow.
It's there to test the quality of your faith.
Yeah. What's your faith built on?
Mm-hmm.
What substance does it have? Mm-hmm. That's what I have.
That's it.
That's it. Thanks for sticking with us today. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Praying that you have a great week. I really hope you begin to write your job descriptions. It can be a great guiding thing. It can lead you to purpose statements and mission statements and a driving force for your decisions and for your life. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna find a way. I don't know how yet, but I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna discount if somebody wants to take the Gallup Strengths Code and do a one-on-one. I'm gonna find a way to get you all some kind of a discount code because I want you. If you haven't done that, do that. It can be a great tool for identifying the unique gifts that you have. I wasn't trying. This isn't an ad. This isn't a plug. This is for real. I think it's a great tool to be able to help you identify those gifts and to give you language for those gifts.
It's helped me.
It helps me all the time, and so yeah, I'm gonna find a way to make it so that it's not prohibitive, but so that we can do like a one-on-one consult if that's something that some of you all are interested in. Tell you what, here's what: if you're interested in it, just send me a message, an inbox message, and I'll circle back to you, whether you're watching live on the rebroadcast, whether I know you or not, whether we see you commenting or not. If you're interested in that, shoot me an inbox. You can either do it right on the Weekly Wisdom with Rajel page and send a message, or you can do it on Rajel Jones page, or you can come over to rajeljones.com and you can do it there.
There's a contact us. I believe.
You can do the contact us.
Piece
Whatever
on the
way.
website.
Find a way to get a message if you're interested in it, and I'll find a way to get a discount for a consult for you, and we'll figure out when we can make that happen. So there's that. To begin at least doing that first step, identify the gift. And then you'll be able to begin thinking about next, how do I invest it and how do I employ it?
Yeah.
And we can figure out how to help you through that too. Between Camille and I, we can figure out how to help you through that. She's like, wait, what? Yep. So let us know. Contact us. We want to be a resource to you. We want to be a resource for you. Want to actualize your potential. Want to help be a part of the process of actualizing and realizing your potential. So thanks so much. Love y'all. I'm glad you're able to join today too, Teresa. I know this time conflict works for you many times. But we love y'all. Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care.